That's the status of the stats. The status of stats is we have no status. No, it's going along. I'm still working on the back end, which is the. I'm not going to say it's the most complicated, but it's the most exacting. Like it's the most tedious, probably part of the stats system, where I have to really think about what the hell I'm doing. A lot of the rest of it is. The most complicated part of the stats is probably going to be how the UI works with it. Otherwise, that's probably going to take the most work. And the results system. God, the fucking results system has to hook into missions that we create with the Unreal Editor and then get like exported to the backend database in like a mission registry so that we can actually validate missions and stuff like that. It's a goddamn mess. But it should be good. Which I'm not sure if I talked to you, Adam, about that at all. But the editor flow for mission creation is basically you pop open the Unreal Editor, and inside of the content folders, you can make mission U assets, which will have all the mission data on it. So things that you can set and all that. And when you save that, good. So like the level will have your actual arena level, and you'll have the mission that is there. So if you want to play a specific mission, you'll just pop open a level and set the arena level mission to the mission asset that you created. But how that gets to the backend database is basically there's going to be like an export command, which will take all your mission U assets and create JSON files, which then get checked into Perforce, which then get deployed to the actual environment. So when you make a mission, it's not immediately going to be playable in like the actual game. It'll be playable in the editor, but it won't be like selectable in any of the mission UI. You'll have to actually like check that in, and then I'll have to run a sync job, which will push it out there. There. That should be easier to see. But when I was going over this, it was basically either I make you work in JSON files, which look like this, and you'd be editing like, okay, I want this to be based on time and all this, and I figured it'd probably be better just to make U assets in there, because then we'd have another problem of how do we specify which mission is currently whatever. It's stupid. I'm not doing it. I think this will work out better for you. Okay, so we have appended this account name stat name into our big ass query, and that'll do that. So I think now we can actually run our database call then. Now this needs to be a simple DB call is what we need to do. This will be the replacer. This will be p.toString. Then we do replacer.execute, and we pass it the stats DB. All right, so that will go through every single thing and do it. Probably the problem with JSON stuff is more that if you were going to be making mission files, like let's say we got 300 missions, right? Like we're talking about not a small amount of JSON, right? Like we're talking about Dragon Age 11 Legends level JSON files of, here's like a 20,000 line XML or JSON file. Good luck. Thank you for hosting, Wretched. I do not believe I know who you are, but thank you for hosting with all the mad followers. But yeah, I was hoping basically, we'd pop open the Unreal Editor and there'd be a bunch of stuff in the content directory, and you could call it like, mission 1, and you could organize them however the fuck you wanted. And, like, then we can do an export, and, when you edit a mission, you can just go click the nice drop down and select, like what kind of mission it is and like how many bots or whatever things we add. Stuff like that. As opposed to like, what is the scariest looking JSON file I've got? I don't know. Just imagine a like 20. I'm showing a 20,000 line JSON file, and I'm saying like you forgot a comma right here, and the error message is it didn't work. That's what working in JSON can be like. Or you misspelled something, so the editor crashes on startup. Good job. Like congratulations, you done. You played yourself. All right, so what we have to do is we have to do the same thing for the results. So we need to go to report results, which is down here. And we're going to have to do the same trash here. So let's look at the results table versus the results history table. So we've got user ID, result context, interval ID, result name. So we have different things. So we're going to have to craft a new replacer. All right, so I'm gonna need a little bit. JSON is human readable, just large JSON. Yeah, they are not human readable after a while. It's impossible. Error message. Yeah, it's basically be like error message, and then you hope it tells you the line 5,000 can't do thing. Oh Jesus! Just don't even try. All right, so we're trying to replace into the results history, and what have we got? I can just start writing this thing. So we want get user results history declaration and get user results declaration. So this is results hist and results. All right, so replace into this. How does our thing look? All right, so it starts with an account ID. And then it goes into the result context. And this needs to be user result var names. So result context. Okay, this is correct. I was just making sure my diagram matches the database table. Yeah, AWS CloudFormation can kiss my ass. The stats is going well. I'm almost done with the last bit of it before I say I'm theoretically finished, and debugging all the bugs is left as an exercise to the reader, and go play some games. All right, so it goes then result context, then the interval context. Wait, these are user result history var names, right? Not the opposite. So we got and the reason I'm using these like static things is so if I ever change a name of a variable, I'm going to get a whole hell of a lot of compile errors, which will tell me like, hey, you need to not do what you just did. All right, so this is interval ID. Result name. I am again confused. Okay, I'm actually grabbing from the other stuff. Okay. Result context is, yeah, okay, so we got the result context. We're going to grab, we don't have the interval context here. So this is going to need to be string joiner is your friend. Yeah. Okay, so we need to do account ID, result context is in there, interval context is actually a thing here that we need to add. That's going to be like this. We then need the interval ID. And then we need the result name. So this will be the result name here. Mainly why I'm doing this slowly is I'm trying not to screw it up. All right, creation time is report time in there. So creation time is a string. Oh, well, yeah, the name of it's a string. What am I, 5? Stat value and duration. All right. All right, cool. So then we actually do these things. So our result is going to have I guess it's our user ID, result name, result context. Ooh. So there's an issue here with this, which is the result ID is what was inserted into the database. So what I actually need to do here is I'm not going to be doing these things here. I need to actually save all the UUIDs that I inserted here, right? Because what I did for reporting results is we did a bunch of deletes on all these things, and then we did results to insert, and we set all these. So what I need is an array list of strings, which are our result IDs. Because the results are different. We actually have like a list of results that you have, so you can have a history of what results you've gotten. Like the last 10 tries on this map, you've gotten bronze, 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 etc., etc. What we want to do is we want to insert the one that we actually set. It doesn't matter if it was your high score, it's your high score for all time, it's your high score for this week, for this interval. But that's not true. We only want to insert this into the interval if it's higher. Fuck. Oh man. Oh, that sucks. So I need to know that this is your greatest stat for this interval. So, and that's unique per interval that's active. So what we need to do is, it's not even like this information might not even be in the storage database. It's only going to be in the interval. So we need to grab all the stats from our storage database, or we need to find a query here, which is this replace into, but only if this thing is bigger. All right, well, let me just try to... We also didn't... Okay, we did set the statement stuff. This isn't a simple DB call. I screwed up the other one as well. I need to fix the other one first. So I need to actually fill out a parameter set, and then I'm going to have to figure out what the heck I'm going to do about the result set, because I need a conditional set there, basically, which I'm not sure how to do. I'll have to use my brain for that. Okay, so we need to go through all these dudes and Oh man, yeah, I totally screwed this thing. So that's what we actually need to do, because that's the compound key for that. Okay, so that's actually correct up there for that guy. What is this all pissed about? Alright, so what we have to do is basically we want to we've already got these. It needs to be these result IDs for every result ID. Alright, so if SQL Okay, so we want to replace into this, so we do this select from where this, but we want to replace into this whole thing. So we did our select from, like this, we did this select from and this like replace into where blah, which we selected. Hmm. I'm not sure the syntax for this because we don't have a name on this thing. It's basically replace if this is greater than the value already existing. Hmm. Yeah, I really don't know the syntax for this. Basically, it's going to be something where I say like, well, insert, replace into this if the value is less than the current value. Hmm. I don't know if this is going to work. Because this will just blanket replace it into everywhere. I think I'm gonna have to. I think this is a problem. And then we got race conditions too. Like, because like our deleting stuff is fine. Because we're just deleting stuff, that already exists based on some values. And we're not deleting anything we don't know about. Now this is what happens when you're trying to write conditions on something that's... Because database operations are all like... They're a different beast entirely because you're doing lots of table stuff. So what I would need to do otherwise is do this myself. But then there's going to be a race condition. With if two of these things are reported at the same time, it might overwrite. So what we'd have to do would be maybe populate... I think we'd have to do like a temporary table here for this sort of thing. Where we'd make a temporary table and then join these things. Damn. Alright, well, I need some water. Alright, well, if I can't set this up, basically what would it be? I want to create a temporary table which has everything in there, and then I want to what would it be? Make temp table, put all the insert stuff in there. then it would be update and replace into the main database, but take the highest value? Fuck. Well, welcome back. I am struggling to come up with the correct query to take your current score that you just put in and write that to the interval databases. So if you just got 5 points on mission 1, we want to write that to your daily, weekly, monthly, seasonal, or all-time results, but we only want to write it if the value that we are writing is going to be greater than the thing that we're going to be writing to. So one solution is to read all the interval tables for all the data that we just got and do it on our database, on our server, and then just do replace intos on there. The other thing we could do is we could make a temporary table. We could put all of our stuff into that table. Okay, it's like select star from what our user results where, and then we have our big like account result ID equals this stuff. And then what we want to do is we want to delete from that set. So delete, we don't want to delete these from there. We want to basically take a subtract. So we want to join. It's like basically we want to where. Yeah, we also want to like select star from user history where, and then like, you know, blah, blah, blah. We want to then join these values based on their like result name, result context, and like stat value, or stat, the result name. Result context, yeah, it'd be account ID, result context, and result name. And take only if the user result that what stat value is greater than the user history dot stat value, and then we want to replace into user history that whole thing. Okay, how in the hell do I do that? All right, so it's something like replace into stats history as T1 inner, and then we do an inner join. So we need to do a select star from, let's see, user results. Where account ID as A, inner join stats history, where what is this? The account ID, result context, result name, and then we want our interval ID as B. Okay, it's so as B on these things, and B dot stat value is less than A dot stat value. Super sticky slow ball. Nice. Well, we can always change how fast the stick comes back to you or whatever. I try to get the ball. Yeah, the sticky ball stuff on the Mushroom Hall is not the easiest thing in the world. All right, so I need to select. It's looking like user ID. Creation time, result context. Wait a minute, do we even have to. Like, we have all this data. So we don't actually, like, we can include all this data as part of the script if we want to, but we probably don't need to. We don't need the... All right, I'm trying to think here. The... We need to select where this is going to be result ID. And, okay, so we're interjoining on this. All we need to join is... All we actually need is... What? Creation time... Result... Stat value... Duration... So we interjoin on, well, I guess if we select star from all this, all right, so select everything. Where the result ID as A, interjoin on B, where basically it's going to be A dot account ID equals B dot account ID. And A dot result context equals B dot result context. Okay, so it's actually like select, and then we're actually going to want to put these things in here. So if we left join, shit. We need to do... Yeah, it's going to be an inner join, so we're going to get both. But what are we going to get? So this select, the join is going to take the rows only that match. So what we have to do is we're going to select the account ID, result context, interval context. So it's going to be interval context that we hard code in there. It's going to be interval ID. Result name, yeah, result name, result, stat value, and duration. Okay, so what this will do is we replace into stats history, we will select these guys where our result IDs are there as A. We interjoin that with our stats history on B, and we use A and B matching, and we use our condition for this, and we do replace into. The issue we have with this is I think this needs to be a left join, because what that'll do is if this thing doesn't exist, over here, then we'll just have the select here. No, that's not correct. This is going to take only those. We need, it's a right join? Is it a right join? No. Fuck. What is this? You have an example of doing this using an append only, I'm assuming, database format? I'm not really sure how that would help. So, I mean, this will give us the things that already exist in both. So this will give us like all the updates. But the problem is, yeah.